Hello, my name is Chen. I'm here to record my birth story. I am recording this for myself and my baby, and for some moms who are looking for some positive birth stories. I remember my last OB appointment was 38 weeks, and at the time my doctor said that because the baby is measured large, that it's better to not go over the due date. So around 38 weeks, so I was only 1 centimeter dilated and 30% effaced on the March 25th, 2026. He said that to come back to see him in a week. So when I got home, 39 weeks, I started to have this regular morning bowel movements. So to me, it is telling me that my body is going into this phase trying to push things out. It's familiar to me. I have this on my period. So I think the hormones started to shift. So on March 39th, I felt more cramps, and during my third trimester, I kept working out. Like I go swimming from Monday to Friday in the morning for 20 minutes. Also, I walk as much as I could. On that day, on March 29th, I felt more cramps and had a 10 minutes apart contractions since 2 in the afternoon. If it is the start of the early labor, I should have a bath. And I did have a bath, and then contraction stopped. Then I packed my hospital bags with all the snacks I got from, Asian market. Those snacks were my favorite childhood snacks to make me feel safe when I'm in the hospital. And at nighttime, on March 29th, I remember I couldn't sleep. It's because I have this cramp or contraction is coming on and off, and I couldn't sleep. So that was signaling me that maybe I should get up and track it. So I got up at 11:30. So I think the real contraction, probably started around 11 p.m. And I got up and tracked it for an hour. It was around 2 to 5 minutes apart, and about 40 to 60 seconds each time. So I messaged my friend to come watch our twins, and me and my husband was getting ready to go to the hospital. The hospital is very close, only 5 minutes drive. And we forgot to go to the emergency room. I thought somehow the hospital would be open at night. I wasn't really thinking. And the security guards were there telling us that we have to go to the emergency room. So my husband went back to park the car, and they wheeled me all the way to registration at the ER, and then got up to labor and delivery. At first, I was just waiting in the waiting area, and I was in lots of pain. This is from the hospital note. They said I arrived at 1 a.m. in the hospital, and by 1:37, doctor checked me. Of course, there were some, a nurse was asking me some questions. I was actually in quite active labor at the time. But 1:37, Dr. Biro, who is a resident doctor, checked me, said I was 7 centimeter dilated and 100% effaced. And it progressed really fast. By 2 a.m., just after 1 hour, I got to the hospital. I was in a lot of pain, and I was just trying to remember to breathe, but I couldn't, because I never have done this before. I was remembering the hypnobirth thing, but I was just couldn't do it. And at 2 a.m., they are asking me if I want to use gas. laughing gas. I was like, okay, I can try. But I didn't do anything. I remember just feeling spaced out and the pain was just as intense. So I just stopped using it. And on the note, they're telling me that I said, baby is coming. And around 2 a.m. And also that I was having this strong urge to push. That's why I said baby was coming. And I just remember I was in so much pain and they want me to lie down and to check me. And I just remember lying down to let them check me was very difficult to do. But they did check me, and at the time I was 8 centimeters dilated. So I progressed pretty fast. Around 2:18, I had this urge to push. And they checked me again, 2:30. I was fully dilated. So basically, 3.5 hours since the beginning of the active labor, I was already fully dilated, and they're saying I could push. I just remember it was so painful. It was waves of pain that I could not let go. It is grabbing me very intensely, and I don't know how to endure this. That is like I have never had this much pain. I think when I first got to even the waiting room, they were asking me if I wanted epidural, and I need to decide it within half an hour. And because my plan was to have unmedicated birth, I told them that I can just wait and see. But when this happens around 2 a.m., I was asking a nurse, I said, it will be too late for me to actually do the epidural anyways when I came here, right? She said, yes, probably, because it progressed really fast. And at 2:45, I remember this. I was in a lot of pain, and the nurse told me to quietly push, so to reserve the energy inside to push, so this way I can push more effectively. And I was in so much pain, telling the doctor to help me. Doctor said that the only way that he can help me was to help me get the labor progress further. So he said I can break it water. And I thought for a second. I said, okay, you can do it. And then I just remember thinking to myself, I don't know if I think I can somehow break the water with just more push, because I felt like I was close. So I had more push. Water broke on its own at 2:45 a.m. And then 2:50 a.m. I repositioned to all fours. And the nurse told me that it was not a good position because they can't really help me. But it was interesting because I was doing side lying, and she was holding my leg to push, but I wasn't able to push effectively. The baby wasn't coming down. So she said to change position, so I changed to all fours. But then she doesn't want me to do that position because she said they can't really help me protect me from tearing in that position. I don't really understand that, and but I insisted staying on all fours because that's how I felt would be effective to push. And then I remember pushing for quite a long time. So I think I was fully dilated 2:30. By 3:30, after pushing for an hour. So I just remember pushing for a very long time, and every time it got more intense and it shorter apart. So I was very, very exhausted. Every time contraction comes, I just felt so helpless and so desperate, and I felt I couldn't endure it. Somehow I could handle it in the middle of the most intense contraction. I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's just, you felt you couldn't do it, but you actually can. But just, it didn't give me much break. And maybe because the baby was in a position, OP position, that means sunny side up. So the baby's face was on my belly side instead of facing my back. So in this position, it will be more painful. Yeah, so basically I pushed for an hour. I felt like a long time to me because it was very, very painful. By 3:30, head was showing after an hour pushing. And I remember even this took a very long time. Head was showing, doctor asked me if I want to see it. I was like, no, I don't want to see it at all. And by 3:47, after another 15 minutes, after head showing, head was delivered. And doctor said that the cord was around the neck. And the baby's face was blue. Both shoulders were stuck. So because of this, he had to get the baby out quickly. And if without the shoulder being stuck or without the cord around the neck, maybe I wouldn't have a tear. But because of this, the doctor had to get the baby out quickly. And I don't remember. I just felt like I just want to get this baby out, and I don't care if I have a tear because it was already very painful. I couldn't feel that maybe tearing it was a lot more painful than it already was. And it was such a weird sensation. I just wanted to get the baby out, and which I did, and it caused second degree tear because of this. And second degree was not too bad compared to what I had last time with the twins. So I was actually pretty happy. I remember I was in so much pain. I think doctor, after watching the video, I think doctor delayed the cord clamp about a minute or so. I remember he was just going to clamp the cord, but he waited. And also baby was not crying after she was out. She was just like sitting there, and the nurse was trying to let her cry, but she couldn't cry for a few seconds, and then she cried. I wasn't really in a state to worry about that. I was just in so much pain, but I was relieved the baby was out. But it was so painful down there. And I remembered doctor said if I want to hold the baby while they do stitches, I was like, no, I just want to, just in a lot of pain. But they cleaned the baby up and I did the stitches. I think I was able to hold the baby after it was done. I was in a lot of pain. They gave me fentanyl, I think 2 doses. Second is half dose, I think. And I think that did help. And the laughing gas, I was just breathing very hard. As far as the birth story, that was pretty much the end of it. And I just remember the stitches were hurting a lot, and I bled for 500 ml, which was also nothing compared how much I was bled during my first delivery for the twins. And I was pretty happy, and I was so proud of myself that I did it. And overall, from starting of the labor, 11 p.m. to 3:49, let's say 4 o'clock, that's like less than 5 hours in total of the whole labor. that was pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. An hour and 20 minutes in total for pushing. So it wasn't bad at all, and it was a very fast, smooth delivery, just very painful, but I did it without using any medication, and baby was doing really well, and I'm very thankful that this time baby's heart rate was going very strong. And yeah, they checked after each contraction. Yeah, because this experience, I was able to recover faster. So I delivered her in the morning, and that night I had severe diarrhea. I don't know what caused it. I think it could be, I don't know. I really have no idea. I had such severe diarrhea that I wasn't able to sleep for the whole night. I was just sitting on the toilet. I didn't even leave. If I left and drank water, I would have to go again. And I don't know. Yeah, so it was very bad. And when I came home for about a month or 2 months, I was feeding her very intensely around the clock. I just remember it was very tough. It was every night when the time came, I was feeling very exhausted and anxious because I was scared that I wouldn't be able to sleep much. So all I wanted to say is this was a very positive and very happy delivery experience. I was so proud of myself being able to do this without any medication. And yeah, I'm also very thankful for my baby. I was also very thankful for all the nurses and the doctor who helped me. Yeah, thinking back, that felt a long time ago. This is my birth story, and I wish you all good luck.